this video, I'll demonstrate how to configure a custom error page to be displayed in the case that the client requests a page or a route that doesn't exist on the server. I have a small static website here about a cat cafe called coffeecat.wsw.local. The browser is warning about being not secure because I'm only using HTTP for the demonstration. We have two pages that work, the home page and the menu page. However, whoever wrote the link for the loyalty points seems to have picked the wrong link name, and this is giving us a not found page that looks rather plain. The same thing gets displayed if the user types in some random URL into the address bar. Looking at the network tab in the inspect part of the browser shows that the response to the problem is actually a 404 not found. The behavior of the server is certainly as expected because Apache simply cannot find the requested page. The output, however, is a bit ugly, and many people who manage websites would like to have a nicer looking page to explain to the viewers what just happened. I already created a custom error page named 404.html, which we can see by typing in the URL directly into the address bar. Of course, what we want for this page to be displayed is when somebody types in other addresses, not going to the page directly. In the Apache web server configuration, a custom page for a resource that is missing is done by modifying the VirtualHost entry in the site configuration file. We'll edit the coffeecat.conf file and add an error document directive. The entry starts with error document, followed by the error code, which in this case is a 404. The final part of the directive is the file that we would like to send, and this file name must start with a slash to indicate that it is a file. Once we make this change, we reload the Apache 2 server, and now when we visit non-existing URLs on the server, we get our custom error code page rather than the plain Apache one. This also works for the loyalty points page, which of course also doesn't exist. Checking the response code in the inspect window, we see that it is still a 404, but of course, now we're seeing our custom page. There are some additional options for the error document. Instead of using /404.html, we can replace this with a simple string such as file not found. Reloading the page now shows us a plain response instead of an actual page. Why exactly you'd want this style is unclear to me, but it is here as an option. Let's go back and set the error code this time to just 404 without deleting slash. This one has a bit of a surprise. Let's reload the configuration again for the server and reload the page, but this time we see the message 404.html. This is because the document doesn't start with a slash, therefore Apache is assuming that we actually want to send in a string containing 404.html. That's a bit of a gotcha that will end up catching a few people off guard. And note that the error page could actually appear in any subfolder within the site if you wanted to use it. Another possibility for dealing with custom error documents is to put a full URL starting with HTTP or HTTPS. For example, here's the address for a 404 on Google's website. We will restart our server and refresh the page again, and notice that the address bar now is actually saying Google. Let's review this using a simpler tool. In my little manual client, if I request a random non-existing resource, we see we get back a 302, which is actually a redirect. This is very different from a 404 response. We've actually brought the user to another site altogether. While our demonstrations here were specifically for the 404 not found custom page, the same technique is actually available for any other code such as 500 internal server errors, or gateway timeouts, or even the redirects, but of course the redirects will never be shown. You just need to specify the correct code.